Hi, this is Reverend Angela Palacious again, wanting to share with you, I guess, some thoughts on the subject of forgiveness. You know, I have found, and I don't know if you found it to be true, that you really don't know if you've forgiven somebody for sure until you meet up with them again. And you have an opportunity to see what is your first reaction, what is your second reaction, what is your third reaction, what is the process that you go through, particularly if it's an unexpected encounter. How do you handle it? And so after you've dealt with it one way or another, you then have an opportunity to process. Was I a godly witness? Have I truly felt the bitterness or the hurt or the frustration or whatever? Have those more extreme emotions now settled? And is there a quiet communication, but without the drama, without the fireworks, without the turmoil? And as I've mentioned before, there's some persons who keep it all bottled up inside. And so even when you have to process it, you have to be honest to say, what am I really feeling? What am I really thinking? How has this affected me? How would I want it to be different the next time? And there is a sense that when you have the encounter, you can come to a couple of conclusions. A friend of mine, we were discussing it, and one of the things that she said is that you can see the change that God has made in your life if you react differently than you might have some years ago or even last year or months ago. That you can definitely see that you are under control of the Holy Spirit. And that if there is still a residue, because very often you think you've made peace and that all is well, as long as they're at a distance. And so I think the social distancing works well for those who can forgive but really would like to not have to have an encounter. And it doesn't always work that way in God's world. Sometimes we would like to be able to forgive and forget. Not forget what the person did, just forget the person altogether. And so then when you have the encounter, you have to come to terms with, what does it mean to love someone who has treated you like an enemy or who is still acting like an enemy? How far away can you love your neighbor and be safe and love yourself? Sometimes it needs to be at the end of a telephone. Sometimes it may need a mediator. Or sometimes it may need you being able to say, I really need to let this go. The possibility of reconciliation with someone who is unwell, sick, and will not get help. It is unlikely that the outcome is going to be different to what it's been for years. And so just wanting you to be able to go into the presence of the Lord and ask the Holy Spirit to help you to be open and honest with yourself. How do you feel about certain people, certain situations, and how would you want to handle it if you could know that God was in control? So I offer you God's best. And of course, beware. When you ask the Lord to help you to grow, you get to find out just where you are on the growth spectrum. God bless you.